we are back. 24.2 was released today. 20-minute AMRAP, 300-meter row, 10 deadlifts at 125 for the ladies, and then 50 double unders, as many rounds as possible. So we're going to go over some pregnancy and postpartum tips, modifications, strategies, etc. If you're looking for workout details, games.crossfit.com. But we're going to start, kind of the one I think a lot of you are thinking about is those double unders. 50 double unders, 20 minutes is a long time, and some of you will accumulate quite a few rounds in there. We've got some different scenarios here. We're going to start with if you're a postpartum athlete and you're working to mitigate leaking. If you have no leaking, haven't experienced leaking or urgency during this workout, go for the dubs if you've been training them and enjoy them. If you haven't been training them, I don't recommend doing them today, right? If you're just coming back postpartum, 3 to 6 months, and you haven't been working those in, today's not the day we test that. If you've been building to them, no symptoms, enjoy. But if you have symptoms during double unders, or you find yourself symptomatic, feel some leaking and urgency during this workout, a few things to keep in mind. One is breaking up your sets. If you know your threshold, say you know you can do 30 and then you feel leaking, let's work beneath that. Let's do 20, take a quick break, 20, a quick break, 10. See if we're able to get through that workout with some breaks built in there for relaxing our pelvic floor in that and mitigating that leaking and urgency. Another thing is a positioning. A lot of times double unders, we tense up, we bring our shoulders up, our chest comes forward, eyes up ahead, and you see my rib cage arching up in this position, and I'm jumping like this. What I'm doing, my core canister, if I have my hips here and my ribs here, and I'm cracking that system, I'm creating pressure's moving elsewhere and not as in control of my pelvic floor. So what we want to do is stay nice and stacked. With that, bringing our chest forward over our toes a little bit, eyes down in front of you, about 8 feet in front of you towards the ground, keeping a little bit of a forward lean, as Brianna Battle says, tits over toes. So jumping here, working to relax those shoulders in that movement versus here is going to be a little bit better positionally. The other thing is learning to relax it. You don't have to do the fastest double unders of your life. Actually, controlled double unders might fare better in this workout if you're able to find some rest in there. You might lose a little bit of time, but maybe you'll actually go through more reps in a more controlled manner. So relaxing your breath, relax your shoulders, relax your grip, relax your stomach. Tendency is to seize up and wait for that urgency of leaking, so we're holding everything real tight, and then that gets tired and we let go and have leakage. So rather, stay relaxed throughout to mitigate that exhaustion of your pelvic floor there. So the biggest things there, I said, break them up smartly, relax your body, eyes forward and down, keeping a slight forward lean, landing soft feet. That's for if you've been training double unders and you're working to mitigate symptoms, leakage, urgency during this workout. Now, if one, you haven't been training them, it's not the time to do them. No, single unders are not a substitute for double unders. That's still impact. I'd recommend switching to something else if we haven't trained those back in yet. If you train single unders in, you're fine with this, that is an option for you. But if you still have symptoms during those, I don't recommend doing them. Good options would be mountain climbers, either on the floor or to an elevated surface for my postpartum athletes that are symptomatic, or even pregnant athletes. You can do a nice controlled mountain climber. This position here, stepping in and out, or jumping in and out. You could also go to a low step up, 12-inch box, stepping up through each rep there, or moving over kind of away from impact, going to a ski erg for some calories. About 45 seconds to a minute of work on that. Now we talked about double unders, let's back it up. We've got the deadlift here. Postpartum athletes. This should be a weight you've been doing in training. 125, a little lighter than we're used to seeing in testers in the CrossFit Open. It should be something you're confident you can lift. It should be something you can lift for reps with control. Again, you're in quite a few rounds in here, so you should be able to take a big breath and lift, control it back down, good position repeatedly. I would say something you're comfortable doing, 10 reps unbroken, even if that's not your strategy for the workout. Positionally, my pregnant athletes, we know our belly might get in the way a little. So while the conventional deadlift is what's prescribed, pregnant athletes, you might go to a more sumo position here. Step those feet out. Come up more upright, make room for that belly. Tight back, shoulders and hips move together. And move those, externally rotate those knees, chest up tall. Sorry, externally rotate those hips, chest up tall. Other option would be going to kettlebell deadlifts. Kettlebell on each side, stand up tall there. Great variation for pregnant athletes that are feeling a little compressed in that deadlift position. Rowing. The concern when it comes to rowing, we have intensity and we have position. Intensity, this is a 20-minute workout. For my pregnant athletes, this is where you're gonna spend the majority, well, for all athletes, this is where we're gonna spend the majority of our time. You break it down, most times being spent in the rower. This means this is your opportunity for rest and recovery as a pregnant athlete. So going at a slower pace and getting your heart rate down, but still moving with forward motion in the workout is a great strategy for you. While as in a shorter workout, you may be able to row 215, 220. Maybe for this, we're backing up 230, 245. If you start to feel yourself real gassed, take a nice slow row that round. Positionally, pregnant and postpartum athletes, we're looking at that lean back a lot of us do. And what happens is when stand up nice and tall, heels in, do that nice big pull drive through our heels, and then we see athletes lean back all the way to get the longest stroke they can. What happens in this position is we see that pressure at the diastasis, that little bit of coning is present. Pregnant athletes are trying to mitigate pressure on your linea alba to prevent diastasis recti. So what we actually want to do is row in a more upright position, driving through the heels but stay sitting tall, where typically this is the row stroke I see, exaggerating that lean back here, nice long row. For my pregnant and postpartum athletes, working to either one, let their linea alba diastasis recti recover, or two, prevent pressure at the linea alba and mitigate diastasis recti. We're going to sit more upright, sitting nice and tall, big pull. Drive through those heels. Stay up nice and tall through each stroke. And you can exhale through the pull. With this, you may find yourself setting the damper a little lower than usual, because we don't want to exhaust you in the pull. We want to keep you moving through at a consistent pace. So the biggest things overall, double unders, breaking up into smart sets, knowing your threshold and trying to break up your set before then. Options for alternatives, mountain climbers, skiers, box step-ups. Deadlift, change your position. Pregnant athletes, if you're feeling crowded there, step out into a sumo position. If you're still fine with the deadlift, conventionally, go ahead, set up with that, but do a load you're very confident in, making sure you know you're going to accumulate quite a bit of volume here. Exhale as you lift that bar. Switch up your grip every now and then. This work is definitely going to get grippy with the row, the deadlift, holding onto that jump rope. You could also opt for kettlebell deadlifts. And then that row, one, use this as your recovery as your pregnant athletes. We're trying to keep that heart rate down, keep it at a conversational pace there. Use this as your time to get your heart rate back down if it spikes a little during your double under movement. Staying nice and upright in that row, lowering that damper if need be, sitting nice and tall, not leaning back, reducing pressure at the linea alba. Stay up tall during that. Otherwise, it's going to be a fun 20-minute workout, no matter how you switch it up, whether you do it RX as prescribed or whether you're doing a pregnant modification. 20 minutes is a long time, a lot of good work, a lot of fun to be had. Any other questions you have, hit me up on Instagram, email me, whatever it may be. Looking forward to hearing from y'all.